What's up? What's going on, people? You already know it's your boy Sophus. I definitely want to check this out because really have no idea like what actually happened. I kind of just know like the gist of it. I know Kanye was there and then he left. So I've been seeing article titles. I've been seeing Tim upload videos himself and whatnot. I just want to see what happens because I actually fucks with Tim Pool. He's a pretty cool guy. You know, I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I think he has a lot of journalistic integrity. And I don't think he's the type of guy that would try to like push Kanye into a corner and make him feel like he wants to walk out. But I don't know how this interview goes down or what happens. So I just kind of want to look at this and just kind of get my 2 cents on it. So let's do this. We're about to watch this. Kanye walks off Temple. I want to see the whole conversation that led up to it. Apparently Kanye was only there for like 15 minutes. So I want to hear everything that was said and what really made Kanye be like, yeah, I'm about to just leave this place. Because I love Ye. Love him. The world needs Ye. He's the hero we need, but not the one we deserve. All right. There you know. It's your boy Sophus. Let's get it.
I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. You were with your families or loved ones, or at least relaxed and enjoyed yourself.
My Thanksgiving was awesome, nevertheless.
The past week, there was a particularly big news story that's resulted in a continued news cycle, which is now going on for over a week, which is in many ways unheard of. But right now, because Donald Trump went...
I just want to say, also before we get into it, I have literally no idea who Nick Fuentes is. I just started hearing his name recently because apparently he's been hanging out with Sneeko. But I looked into him a little bit, and the dude is basically racist. Like, I don't know. I can't really make that statement definitively. I don't really know the dude. Maybe I just seen clips of him taken out of context, but I was watching a video Stephen Knight did on him, and I was like, yeah, that dude's wild, bro. Model Yiannopoulos, everybody knows who he is. Dude's super cool. Love him. Hilarious. Super awesome gay dude. All right, let's go.
To dinner with Ye and Nick Fuentes, among others. He is now being denounced by Mike Pence, several Republican senators, and for whatever reason, this story, for many reasons I suppose people have made, this story has persisted till today. And we are able to actually sit down with several of the individuals involved in that story, notably Ye, Nick Fuentes, and Mal Yiannopoulos, of course, who made the dinner happen. It's my understanding, or at least got the.
I had the dinner invite before I met Milo.
Okay, my bad. There you go. So we're gonna jump right into this story.
I just overcomplicated it.
Absolutely. So we're gonna start with that. There's a lot we want to talk about, and you know what, man, this is a very big story. A lot of people have questions about, what were Trump's intentions, why were certain people invited, and Trump, of course, has issued statements. So a lot of people want to know where he stands, and more importantly, what happened there and why. And there's also the questions about what Ye 24 means, and I'll keep that a little bit vague so that they can answer to that and speak more to that. And then, of course, we're going to get into a lot of different issues. However, head over to timcast.com and become a member. We're going to have a members-only uncensored show, which will probably get a bit more in-depth on a lot of other issues. That I'll just leave it at that. Timcast.com, become a member, support our work, and we'll talk about more there.
Definitely didn't happen.
Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us, as I mentioned, is we have Ye himself. Would you like to introduce yourself, good sir?
You did it.
There you go. I think everybody knows who you are.
Come on.
And which you gentlemen would like to introduce yourself?
Nicholas, please.
Hi, yeah, I'm
I don't know who this guy is.
Nick Fuentes. First time here on the Timcast. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you do?
Oh, I'm a live streamer. I do a show called America First on cozy.tv.
All right. And of course, Milo, you were here a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I'm your best ever guest.
Yeah.
So we've been told that
I just
the
wanna
episode
say,
with
I
you
know-
was one of the...
I know I'm watching this for Kanye, but Mal Yiannopoulos is the coolest dude ever, bro. I don't care what anybody says or thinks about him. I've been watching Milo for years. Like he's the coolest dude ever, bro.
best podcasts ever. People really enjoyed hearing you speak.
I think that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks. I was wondering how I was going to make it even more extraordinary the second time I visited, but I think I might have pulled it off.
Luke's here.
Total Sausage Fest tonight. Welcome. My name is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. Today I'm wearing my
Epstein definitely did not
Epstein himself t-shirt, which you could get on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And I think we should be using that word a little bit more, just like, this YouTube channel didn't Epstein itself. And if this YouTube channel is Epsteined, we will be streaming on Twitter. So yeah, I started a t-shirt company after YouTube demonetized me. So thebestpoliticalshirts.com, because you guys buy it. That's why I'm here. Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, Serge.
And I am Serge.com. Pleasure, guys.
All right, and I'll just pull up this story from The Hill, which is from earlier today, 5 p.m. Pence says Trump should apologize. It's wrong to give anti-Semite a seat at the table. This, of course, is related to a dinner that happened, and I was wrong a little on the details. So a dinner happened. Nick, you were there. Ye, you were there. I just want to start off by, how did this dinner come to happen, and what happened?
I was talking to Trump for about a month. We had scheduled the dinner in October, and then he announced for president. He pushed the dinner back to November. And I've been pulling together a campaign. And after I put up the DEF CON tweet, a bunch of people that have been canceled, like Alex Jones, I started getting in contact with other people that were now on the inside of the matrix. And Alex Jones, producer, said that Milo wanted to contact me. And
ready for you, the matrix. So
here we are.
Do it.
So that's how you guys got in contact.
Yeah, originally, and then I suggested that we bring in Nicholas as a enormous extra brain firepower that he is. He's most extraordinarily brilliant political commentator of his generation, and he's been treated just about as badly as anybody. So I thought he deserved to be in the room too. And yeah, that's pretty much how we got together.
So I have some questions about that, but we'll get through the dinner portion of how exactly this happened, what went down. So this is how you get in contact, the three of you. How is it that Nick ends up invited to this dinner, and what happened?
Well, he was rolling with me. I was impressed with Nick, and I was like, just come to the dinner. And we had Karen Giorno pick us up from the airport. And there was a lot of back and forth. There's another gentleman named Jamar Montgomery that was with us. He's an engineer at Boeing, and who's it?
I'm telling him we should raise everyone's volume.
Okay, cool. And we sat there, and it was like when Trump came in, I said, do you want to sit alone? He's like, no, bring your friends in. So a big thing is like Trump had no idea who Nick Fuentes was. But this whole, I just got to go right to the heart of this anti-Semite claim that's happening. This is something, if you read the definition, it says you can't claim that there's multiple people inside of banks or in media that are all Jewish, or you're anti-Semitic. And that's the truth. Like, it's the truth. What are we talking about? And
elaborate. What do you mean? You mean?
I'm saying, like, I've been labeled anti-Semite, right? So there's different beliefs about our bloodlines, like the documentary that Kyrie posted. And in general, America has been left ignorant and history has been changed. So when we start questioning things that question the indoctrination, then you immediately get, you said debanked, or what did you say happened to you? Or
Okay, so damn, he's gonna walk out pretty soon. I think he only got like 10 more minutes before he leaves. So he's saying a lot pretty early on, but it's pretty questionable. Don't you think that when he makes the statement that the people who run Hollywood, the people who run music and the movies, the people who run entertainment, all just so happen to be Jewish? Dave Chappelle said the same thing. He was like, yeah, most of them are. And they also run a majority of the banks. But you can't say anything about it because you're being anti-Semitic. You can't even take note of it. But it's crazy how I've always thought it was like, you want to prove that, and keep in mind these are his beliefs or whatever, but you want to prove that that Jewish people run the world, basically. And in response to that, they're saying, well, no, we don't. We don't run the world. And you say that, you're being anti-Semitic. But at the same time, when he says it, you deny him access to his banks, and you deny him access to his brand deals like Adidas, and you take away his money, and you deplatform people, like you ban them across all platforms and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. It's just one. If you're asking me, the worst way to prove you don't run the world is if you don't try to delete somebody from the world when they say something about you. It kind of makes it seem like you do run the world. You know what I mean? I don't know if you just kind of put two and two together. Am I about to get banned?
Demonetized, deplatformed.
Demonized, demonetized. And what's so beautiful about this time is everyone got to see what's really been happening. And now we can really understand. We can see that Ron Emanuel was right next to Obama, and then Jared Kushner was right next to Trump.
But so we're getting right into it, I guess, right? I was hoping to go for the news first before we got into all of this stuff. I think the issue is one way to put it is you're expounding upon a localization issue that you've witnessed, right? Let me clarify. There are a handful of people that you see are Jewish in a certain place, and then you associate Judaism with the power, whereas I view that as not relevant to it. Like, yeah, you're substantially more powerful than I am, but I don't view what you're doing as an issue of black people.
Yeah, but have you ever heard the term the black vote? So it's okay to put us in one net, but it's not okay for me to put them in one net.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's the basis of the hypocrisy that people have been.
That's but Yeezy really fucking smart, bro. Like the way he kind of just said he said it so eloquently too. Yeah, it's like I've heard it over and over again. We gotta secure the black vote. I remember back in 2016 or whatever. It's like the weirdest fucking thing, as if black people are like monolithic and we all think the same thing, and we're all gonna vote the same way. Thus, the black vote. It's like the reason why I fucking hate like Miles Morales, because we need a black Spider-Man. So let's make him wear Jordans and Timbs and hoodies and listen to hip hop. Look at him. Look how black he is. Don't you love him? It's so crazy how you can do that to us, because we're all black, so we're all the same. But okay, let me just stop talking, bro. Whatever.
Have been thinking about and knowing about and realizing for decades. We were all wondering how this dam was going to break. Everybody in the country was wondering, what is the root of this hypocrisy? Why can people...
Yes, I do wear hoodies. Yes, I do like hip-hop. That's not the fucking point. The point I'm saying is that we're not all fucking monolithic, you know what I mean? I'm a huge metalhead, you know. I like fucking anime and comic books and video games. I know black people who will never touch that shit. What I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, people are individuals. And I think that's the point Tim's getting at. Is that people are individuals, so it's not so much Jewish people run the world. Of course not. It just so happens that most of the people who run the entertainment industry, which dictates culture and influence the masses of people, especially the upcoming generation, just so happen to be Jewish. I mean, like, that. Kanye's not lying when he said that. That's been evident since like the 80s. If you go back, NWA was talking about the same thing. Now there are people who are outright racist, like Louis Farrakhan. He's actually a black supremacist, but to suggest Kanye is that is ridiculous.
People talk about white people a certain way. Why can't they talk about that group a certain way? And
or Al Sharpton, you know, actual fucking racist people, but you know,
wretched and wicked and oppressed way. What is the root of this hypocrisy? How this dam was going to break, and knowing about and it's the basis of the hypocrisy that people have been thinking about and knowing about and realizing for decades. We were all wondering how this dam was going to break. Everybody in the country was wondering, what is the root of this hypocrisy? Why can people talk about white people a certain way? Why can't they talk about that group a certain way? And the wretched and wicked and oppressive prevailing orthodoxy of cancel culture. Well, it turned out that the one thing that was going to break the dam was the biggest star in the world, and it took the biggest star in the world to do it. And now the dam is broken.
So let me tell you my issue. I don't like identitarianism. You guys are familiar with what that is?
Well,
Yeah.
they started it, and
I
they've been
dislike
visiting
it.
on
Sure.
us.
The-
We're
when
trying
I,
to break it.
When I was asking you about running for president, you immediately said, "Well,
greatly dislike identitarianism. Greatly.
you'd be good for the black vote." And I said, "Is that because I'm black?" They immediately said,
We're trying to break it.
When I was asking you about running for president, you immediately said, "Well, you'd be good for the black vote." And I said, "Is that because I'm black?" No, not just because of that. So was that. Are you doing the same thing?
I didn't say that was the only reason. I said it was because you're personable to the common person, and you probably would do well with the black vote. Absolutely.
Just because I'm black? There's a lot of black people that don't like me.
Of course. I think race plays a role in a lot of things. Absolutely. And I think that for
I think the
I think Tim's contradicting himself right now. Because you can't say in one breath race plays a lot of things, but just like a minute ago you were saying I don't like identitarianism, and maybe I'm just not understanding where Tim's coming from. But I think Tim's contradicting himself right now.
construct of race has really been forced upon us as just something for us to be woke about and just constantly talk about and use it as these like walls.
Couldn't you say the same thing about Judaism?
Well, let's look at the facts of what I'm saying, though. If you say in this neighborhood where they gerrymander, there's this amount of time. So, hey, I wasn't doing that. I was just gerrymandering the lawyers and the Hollywood executives and the people at the bank that debanked me and then froze my accounts. It's like we want to jump into protecting the idea that we can't put a net around something, right? But that's been my job as a producer to take, a Roy Ayers sample and put a James Brown drum and put it within a 2-minute, 3-minute song. That's the way I actually think, and that's the way I talk. And now this morning I found out that they were trying to put me in prison.
Kanye just explained how his brain works perfectly. Like, the dude is low key really intelligent, man.
Because what they did was I moved $140 million into J.P. Morgan, and I said, "I want to talk to Jamie Dimon." Like, look at me, I'm just going in naive, multi-billionaire. Like, maybe Jamie Dimon will let me in on some deal flow. Wrong, and I'm just like banging my hands, like I want to meet with Jamie, and I start complaining online, and then they debank me for complaining. And so I'm about to get debanked. They're like, "You need to go to Trump's, the bank, AXO, whatever. You got to go." And I'm like, I've been trying to buy my own bank for the longest. And then we figured out how to get my own bank. It's like 50 million, 75 million. So I'm about to buy my own bank. But then as they're about to take the money out, here comes Adidas with a $275 million bill for marketing funds that they agreed upon. Because I said to them, "Hey, I'm the marketing, give me the marketing fund," which proves by the response they got when they, stole the designs and said, "We're going to not call them Yeezys anymore." So this is what I was already fighting Adidas for. So I'm fighting Gap, get out of Gap, fighting Adidas. And then I deal with this little bit of noise from, Zionism from the fashion world, where they use this plant named Gabby, who's obviously like some kind of CIA agent, knows nothing about fashion. This is a certain thing. When someone can't dress, that they're not like a fashion person. They're just there as like the society, like the control that they try to use with celebrities, which has now been broken, right? Because where it broke. Okay. I want to get on like LeBron in a second. But I'm going to come back to this and just talk about this morning where, I'm not going to mention her name because she's a nice lady, but someone at Cohen Resnick tells me, and I tell all of my finance people, never use the term a lot, but they said, "Okay, you're going to have to pay a lot of taxes." And that made me feel like they're just like waiting, like we finally got them. We finally can put him in jail. And I was like, "Can I still run for president in jail?" I found out I could. So I was like, "Okay, that's fine then." It'll be okay.
But if you were Jeffrey Epstein, they wouldn't touch your bank account. They would allow you to break the rules, regulations, just like J.P. Morgan and Chase did, just like Deutsche Bank did. So there is an issue to bring up with that. But when it comes to the race stuff, I think this is...
Yo, that reminds me when Trump was running way back when he was talking about, "Yeah, man, the system's broken, it's rigged, they're all criminals and stuff." And wasn't he debating Hillary? She's like, "Well, I mean, how do you know that? How can you say that? Blah, blah, blah. You can't prove that. Trump was like, yes, I can, because I do it. He was like, I rigged the system. I do it. That's how I know you all are doing it. And he was just saying, like, if you were all these other people, they'll let you break the rules. They'll let you do this stuff. But because you're Kanye and you're not being what we wanted you to be, which is Kanye, which is go on there, rap about pussy, money, weed, and keep niggas ignorant, you're not doing that anymore. Why aren't you doing what we want you to do anymore? It's interesting. Pretty interesting. Kanye's going to be walking soon. I think he walks like at the 15-minute mark or something. I don't know. But damn, it's just crazy because he's saying so much with so little time he was actually on this episode. That's crazy.
This is an important discussion to have because
I think I have to complete this thought. You guys got to.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, because I'm talking about literally finding out that they were trying to put me in prison this morning. Watch this. So
This morning.
yes. So not come to my house this morning, but I found out. Okay, so they put a $75 million hold on 4 of my accounts, and then they said you owe a lot of taxes. Took me like 6 hours to find out how much a lot was. They said, well, around $50 million. Now I'm going to different CFOs like, okay, so would this be tax evasion? Because I'm obviously not the most financially literate person on the planet. I was just a child, basically. Like when you become famous, you stop growing at that point. I became famous at age 24 and I had handlers around. I had my mom around, different things. And it was always like you go from one handler to the next handler to the next handler. So now I get to actually learn how to run a company. I get to learn how to, to count. Really, I was like Pablo in a movie. It was like I didn't even know where to put the money, like literally making $300 million cash, but you're just like a high-priced, we're not going to use the S word just because it's just like too passe to use it. But it's like next year I was supposed to make $500 million in royalties. And like no one needs this amount of money. But when I would work on homeless shelters and ideas, I'd have a contractor. We won't say what race. And they'd be tearing down the contracts. It's all about, position. It's not about the amount of money that you have. And, to come in here, I feel like it's a setup to be like defending. I'm not going to go through another, like I'm literally going to walk the F off the show if I'm sitting up here having a, talk about you can't say that it was Jewish people that did it when every sensible person knows that. I mean, Jon Stewart knows what happened to me and they took it too far. It was like American History X. Like my head was on the side of the curve and the exact people that I called out kicked my head. We found out that my trainer was
That's interesting that Kanye said, like, yo, bro, if you keep asking me to defend myself or not so much if you keep asking me, it's like, I just refuse to sit here and do it because it's quite obvious. It's like, I'm not saying anything that's untrue. And I'm not saying anything that's out of, like, hatred or I think I'm better than these people, so how am I anti them? You know what I mean? To be, like, racist is to have feelings of hatred and superiority in regards to someone because of their race and no other reason. So that's not where I'm coming from. I'm just saying, look, these people are doing this to me, and this is what's happening. I just want to talk about it. And I don't see why I have to defend myself for acknowledging what's actually happening to me, which is, I think that's reasonable.
MK Ultra, Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on psyops
Who is
in
this
the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly, it took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too.
I want to
They would have Michael Jackson.
or worse. Yeah.
So
Look at what they did. Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now.
Yeah.
You can see there's not much of her left.
you mentioned Pasternak was the name.
Yes, Harley Pasternak. That's the text message that Yi
Yeah.
Lithium is used to treat bipolar disorder, which is interesting.
posted that we were talking about before.
Here's
That's the lobotomy
look,
thread. You know?
Yeah.
Before the show, obviously, I'm getting a bunch of messages from people. People are hitting me up, and they're like, "You shouldn't host them. They're anti-Semitic. They're white supremacists. They're racist." I do find the idea. I do find it funny or weird, or whatever. That Nick, they call you a white supremacist. You're here working with or for one of the most powerful black men, one of the wealthiest and most famous. But a lot of people were saying on the right specifically, don't platform them. And I said, well, I want to understand what they're thinking and why they're thinking it. They're they're involved in what may be the biggest news story of the past week, and we have an opportunity to sit down and talk.
Because
with
the
them.
red media controls both sides. It just said it as simple as possible. Jared Kushner was next to Trump. Ron Emanuel was next to Obama.
But see,
since 1940, go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't that an issue of these individuals? Like you're extrapolating.
I'm not having. I'm going to order with the last of my money that's available in a different account. I'm going to order a PJ before I sit and have another Lex Friedman setup conversation. When I'm literally they're trying to put me in jail for my opinion.
But I
I'm not,
get that.
I'm not going to have that opinion. I don't care about people. Those are bots that are trying to tell you. We realize, look at Pence. He sold Trump out. You get what I'm saying? It's like I would have never wanted to do anything that hurt Trump. I'm on Trump's side. Trump said things that hurt me. He lied about me, but I mean, he's known for lying. And when people used to tell me that, he's a liar, it's like, I went into the trenches for Trump. That's another conversation. There was no one in my position that wore that hat. And all of my surroundings exhausted me. It was like death by 1,000 questions. I know I'm jumping to another thing, but what I'm saying is, I know you got a rep for your people online, but it's you got a person in real life that I'm not with it, bro. I lost the money for the freedom of speech, and that's what makes me the only American that we know that really deserves to run the country, because everyone else, your boy DeSantis, Trump, whoever they raise in a petri dish over on the Democrat side is going to play the game.
Look,
and,
here's what I was trying to get
Yeah.
to. You went right into the anti-Semite thing. I think it's something that should be talked about. But if you start bringing this up, you're going to ask my opinion on it. I'm going to disagree with you.
I didn't ask your opinion on it. You jumped into it.
But
I don't care about your opinion. I like your opinion on.
I feel it coming. I feel the walkout coming, because Kanye is getting heated. Like, he's just trying to say what's going on with him and what he's observing. And I think when you host someone like Kanye, not even like his belief system, but someone like of his caliber, the best thing to do, the best thing for your content, is to sit there and let him talk, regardless if you agree with him or not. Because you don't have to be held liable for their opinions, right? So it's the best thing to do is just sit there and kind of let them talk. And when they let you jump in, but sit there and let them talk. And Kanye loves to talk. The best thing to do is to sit there and let Kanye talk. And let Milo talk too. But I feel it coming, because Tim is looking at this. Because I know Tim. He's a super analytical, super data-driven type dude. He's like a super debater, you know what I mean? He comes with the facts and statistics, and he looks at everything from a nuanced angle, and he sees every little detail and everything. And there might be things Kanye are missing. You know what I mean? That's 100% could be true, but like that Kanye's not interested in having that type of conversation. I love this type of conversation where we go into every single nuance and every single minute detail and try to extrapolate from that. Kanye just wants to rant. Let him rant. Let him be entertaining. He's not here for like an intellectual, like Sargon of Akkad versus Destiny style debate. He's not here for that. He's just here to rant. Let him rant.
Know how we win an election, but I don't care about anybody's opinion, bro. I lost. They tried to put me in jail. They blocked $2 billion I had. Like what I told Farrakhan, I said, look, is it anti-Semitic for me to say his name out loud? Like I
the
told
minister.
The minister. Like I told
Obama met with him too.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I mean, the Jewish people allowed Obama to meet with the minister. So Farrakhan said, well, did he have the money? The contract for the next 4 years, if I hadn't done anything, would have been $500 million a year for 4 years. What I was fighting for was the IP, so my children could, I'm sorry, just sometimes I think about 7 thoughts at one time. Because anything I see, I come up with like 7 answers to it and then just choose what it is. But the thing is, when I said my children, the reason why my brain kind of blocked, because it's like God is saying, your children are going to be okay. Baby mama's got money, right? God is using me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up? And then
Have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a
Like,
conversation.
have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, "Here's my pain, here's my suffering." I'm going to say, "I hear you," and then he's going to say, "And it was Jewish people," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, but don't you consider?" It's like, I'm not going to do this. I
gotta
refuse.
Go, make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised.
Well, that was yeah, that was that was something. Okay, ultimately, I kind of see what happened there. I think what happened, it was Kanye just didn't want to hear, yeah, but how do you know it was Jewish people or whatever the fuck? And, like, I mean, I get where they're both coming from. I get what happened. I get how it happened. It's a shame it didn't happen. I think Tim couldn't stop being Tim for a second and just let Kanye rant. Just let him rant, dude. Like, you don't have to... That doesn't mean you agree with what he's saying. Just let him rant. It would have been so beneficial for you to start letting him rant. But maybe, ultimately, you can get something out of this, too, for your channel, for your content. Sure. But if you would just let Kanye rant for, like, 2 or 3 hours, just like they did on Drink Champs, or just like Joe Rogan did a little while back, it would have been perfect for your channel, bro. You would have brought you so much attention and everything. But nevertheless, look, here's where we are. I don't think there's too much to say to that or about that. I think it was very interesting. But yeah, I don't know, man. Damn, I wish Kanye would have kept talking. Damn, I wish he would have kept talking, right? That's kind of my bad. That's kind of where I'm at. But nevertheless, it is what it is. That was still interesting for what it was. It's your boy, Sophus. Hell Hydra.